And Kamala was so severely misunderstood. I think still there are a lot of things that people don't know her. Like they don't know she black. Like she's really like
she's really black. Yeah.
Yes.
Greetings. My name is Queen Afua. I help people to live a healthy life in body, mind, and spirit. Welcome into the sacred circle, where you will find peace, inspiration, and practical tools for living a happy wellness lifestyle. So come inside and make yourself at home.
Yay! Hi, Queen. How are you?
You are a mighty force. We love you. We support you. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your courage. But then my daughter, she had me to really check your father. Because like my father, I felt the same way. Your father's a freedom fighter. And I know your mother's got to be right there with him because you couldn't have created one like you. It came from birth in the blood. We are so grateful to have the image of you before us right now, particularly in the holistic circle. And we have questions, they have feelings, they are loving you and supporting you. The love is over the top right now. And in a time such as this, we just got our vice president. I slipped and said she's the president, but
I heard you.
I didn't mean to slip over there, but you know what I told you when we first spoke? I said, you're thinking about maybe being the president? You said, no, I'm not sure about all of that. But anyway, you're just doing the work. You're doing the work. And that's the most important thing. What got you so charged up? When did you get the fire in you and under you to speak out in the way that you do, that you speak from our tone and people hear you? When did that all happen? How did that all happen for you?
So, Queen, you know that I'm not jumping into the interview with you without acknowledging who you are to me and to us and to the culture. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much. When I first met you, it was an instant, like, where you been all my life? This is my other mother right here. Like, I want you all to know Queen is like this, whether it's on IG Live, it's on my podcast, or it's on the phone. And I just want to tell you, thank you for loving me, for accepting me, for journeying with me, for stretching me, because it's been a stretch. And I'm sure we'll also talk about the places where I fall off and get back on. And you're still right there to encourage us. And so I want to tell you thank you, because this political season in particular, when you talk about where the fire come from, it almost took me out. Like knowing where kind of we went from 2016 to now, and how afraid I was. And I kept holding on to hope, and knowing, even from learning with you, like the power of Black women and the power of our ancestors and the shoulders we stand on and their spirits that we carry, and our genetic makeup, we carry them literally in our genes. And so for me, I'm like, nah, I owe it to them to fight. So I've been I have these two necklaces. There's a Harriet Tubman one, and the other one is Kamala. So when you were talking about Kamala earlier today, I was like, yes, I'm like, we can do this. And so the fire, now to answer your question, comes from, I've always been a fighter. And so even to see you, I've never seen you in red. So today when I was like, that's my favorite color. I like red and pink.
You know, we enjoy the colors.
I know. Every time.
You remember when we came together for the interview?
We both had on blue.
I had blue. You had on blue. We didn't talk much about it, but we were like, all righty then.
Yeah.
I had no clue I was going to put on red today. But to bring you on, that's what you give to us, the fire, the charge, to go forward, to be victorious, to be fearless. So I just want to say that I'm carrying your spirit with me. And we are carrying that so that you feel you don't have to be afraid of anything, because this is our time to come forth and to the advocacy of the truth.
Yeah,
your truth.
I'm with you. Yes.
So we give thanks. So you don't come just out of nowhere. You come from somewhere deep. When you mentioned those before you, that build you up. It's in the bloodline though. It's in your blood that you would come forward. So share us your journey from being, well, you was always probably a little girl as an advocate for the children on your block. For your family. You probably speaking up for everybody your whole life. Your mom and my daughter to the T.
Aww.
So you just translated yourself into this drum. How did it all happen for you?
So the truth is, I really don't know. What I do know is in our family, we are natural givers. My dad, like you said, is an advocate, you know, an activist, an agitator, and put the community, you know, first so much that Queen, just like so many other people in our community, he suffered economically, personally, you know, losing sleep at night. And, you know, even recently, he has a radio show on air still in Seattle, where I'm from. And he was telling me that he was having these nightmares before the election about them coming to arrest him. And when he got to the car, I was already there.
You were already there.
But what I think he was experiencing, right, was this anxiety that comes with the cost that comes with speaking truth to power. The fact that he has historically been punished for being so honest and so about his community and putting them first, but knowing that if he had to choose that all over again, that's exactly what he would do. And so I'm grateful for that integrity that I saw modeled. My mom the same way. She's not as outspoken as we've talked about before, but her power, that inner strength.
She supports him in going forward.
Yeah, and that her own inner strength, her own, like the thing that I love about her, and frankly you too, that I don't feel like I fully have stepped into yet, is this, like this, just your presence speaks truth to power. Just your, you know, your look, you know, the way that you will hear someone says everything they need to know. And I don't know if that's something that comes with like motherhood, but it's like even that look they would give you where you like, oh, I better not, you know, that like that.
You're so sensitive.
You know?
Wow. But you know, as you're speaking, I'm saying, okay, you saw your father suffer. Sometimes people see one suffer, the freedom fighters, the liberators, as your father. And the children may say, that's a little too much. I want to go a safer route. I can't do all of that. How did you go? He was in the fire. He was in the flames. He suffered, speaking up, doing what he had to do, what he was born to do. How you find yourself in the flames with him? You jumped in right with him. How'd that happen?
I think it's one of those things where you literally are, you know, pulled by mission. You know, I went to law school. He didn't go to law school. My dad didn't finish college. So I thought I was taking a safer route. I would I went to work at law firms in the summer and I hated it. It was the antithesis of my mission. I never had any aspirations to be on television. You know, I thought I could, you know, advocate for clients one by one. And then when I met Congresswoman Waters, who is another queen and hero to me, and had my first political internship in law school, I was like, oh my God, it's not fighting against politicians. She's working through the system to fight for us. I want to do that. And so I was really attracted to that, but I still wanted to do it from outside Capitol Hill. And she was like, no, you need to go to the Hill. So when I did, I learned the path, but I still felt like, you know, there are aspects of this that I could do a little different, and not shying away so much from my roots, from how I was raised. And I wanted to incorporate that a lot more into what I was doing. And I wouldn't have to suffer economically. I could go in to challenge companies about diversity and how they perceive Blackness, right? Especially after the summer, really being able to tell them like, actually, that's not enough. Now, as you know, I'm still working on the delivery of said word. and wanting to heal. But right now, I'm like,
yes. So. You know what? It's so deep. You being a lawyer, but lawyers are all about balance, truth, and righteousness in real law, in real divine law. And it's the scale. On one side is the heart. So you're the heart of the people. You speak for the people. And that is really Ma'at, which means that a whole nation was based on her principle. A whole nation was based on truth and righteousness And law is to represent that. So you said, no, this is not correct. Y'all are not following the natural laws. You are destroying the people. So you say, no, this is what it is. We need you to go to law school. You went to law school for us.
Yeah.
And now it's time, you're now speaking for us in this way. You were raised up in it. You were made for this time. In the greatest time of crisis is when we need you to speak the strongest. What was the rumbling in your soul during this election? What did you experience in the heat of the night?
Ooh. Right now, as I sit here, there's a hummingbird that just came. So right now I'm experiencing joy. But when the election was happening, Queen, I was honestly, I was so concerned about whether or not people could choose different because they didn't see distinction enough in the ticket. And Kamala was so severely misunderstood. I think still there are a lot of things that people don't know her. Like they don't know she black. Like she's really like
she's really black. Yeah.
Yes. And so to see that and know that and hear so many inaccuracies about her, especially when how seriously I feel about truth, was maddening. And so what I was really settling into was trying to hold on to my faith over my fear. Because I was petrified. I was like, what's going to happen? Is there, a lot of us were talking about, is there going to be a civil war? Is there, people want to get guns? Like, what's going on? And then when the results came in, I wanted to celebrate. I felt a little relieved, but Queen, what I'm really wrestling with is, it's really hard to build something solid on a jacked up foundation. And the foundation of this country is rooted in oppression and in injustice. The scales you talked about, we saw images of it when they're denying the full power of the thing. Yes. Every single law they implement that suppresses and harms us. So I'm now looking at 70 million plus people voted for this man who thrives in causing us to fear, and who thrives in saying an organization that supports Black Lives Mattering is terrorist, right? So for me, I'm like, who are these people that are
supporting? Next door neighbors, people I shop with.
Yeah.
All this, and they are in opposition. But you know what? I've been playing this one song since 1969 from the 60s, and I swear by that song.
What is it?
Vision song. It's called "The Creator Has a Master Plan." You are part of that divine, powerful plan that would come up now. Our vice president, she's a part of that divine plan. Sacred women, that divine plan. This our new mayor that's going to be coming in, the African American. Her name is Maya. She's a part of the divine plan. It's called the Uprise. I'm a part of the divine plan. Your father, your mother's a part of that divine plan. We're putting a blanket of wellness and healing over this whole planet, over our people, and all people will benefit from it. So we're winning, and we have to accept that. And don't shake at the boost for it, because this is our time.
Yeah.
See, the world needs our medicine. The world needs our healing. Because if it's one of us is sick, we all are infected by it. You see, we can't even breathe on each other right now. We got to have a mask 6 feet away from each other. They don't have an answer.
That's true.
But we have the answer. And I know you do. I want you to give us a charge right now. I want you to give us a charge from your heart. What is our walking papers, our running papers? Now that we got through, it wasn't a civil war. What's coming through you that is a message from on high that will give us that extra power, because we're going to give it right back to you. So you're not going to be right out in the middle of the ocean. It says you're giving it to us, we're giving it right back to you, and we're walking together.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Queen. I will tell you that what is on my heart, and it feels so good this morning, is thinking about what real freedom is. And I read this in my devotional time this morning. I read this affirmation. I think you're going to love it. The affirmation says, breathe in, I was born worthy.
I was born worthy. Everyone join. As you say it, we're going to say it.
Okay.
Everyone, I was born worthy.
You breathe in, I was born worthy.
I was born worthy.
And you exhale, I will not prove it.
I will not
Prove it.
Oh, wow. Because I was born worthy. Because I was born worthy, I don't have to prove that I was born worthy.
That's right. That's right. And that is where our real freedom lies. When we get to the point where we don't have to nurse our ego and feed that with proving all of your qualifications and talking about all your experience and showing people where you went to school and telling people who you know and talking about how many followers you have and talking about how pretty you are, or how many dudes you got, or how many chicks you got, or whatever it is, whatever that thing is that soothes your wounded ego, you don't have to have it, because all of that stuff is not who you really are. And once you get to the heart of who you really are, you know that you are enough, that you were born worthy, and you don't have to prove it.
Who are you telling that to? You somebody I feel like you should go right piercing their heart, letting them know you were born worthy. You don't have to prove yourself. Tell them, who are you speaking to? The sister who has lost faith in herself, the family that is shattered and broken, who are you speaking to? Because they can feel that directly to them.
To every broken person, you know, whether you were discouraged by the 70 plus million people who voted against our interest, or to every person who's struggling right now, to the essential worker, like you talked about, dealing with COVID, who's exhausted, who doesn't feel like they have enough to get through, who may have a really good suggestion and doesn't feel heard, to every woman who's ever been at work and hasn't been listened to, who's been over-talked, who had to say, like Kamala, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Whoa, did she say that?
She sure told him.
She stopped the earth right there. The earth stood still when Mother spoke.
Yes.
And that's what time is. When she said that, she's in control. She's in control. And actually, so much is coming through her. We have to support her. Support you. She already accepted the post. She knew there was going to be something that was going to come with it, but she accepted the post because it was Most High given to her, as Most High gave it to you, and you giving it to us. And it's a circle. We're in a circle right now, and it's a circle of protection. The name of that circle is Ra. That is a circle of protection, because we're not going to have another one shot as we raise our vibration. I want to ask you, during this time, how are you living? What are you doing that you're so strong during this COVID period? What are you doing to protect yourself that we can also feel charged up about? Because I can see it in you, that there's a clarity, there's a strength, and there's a power, and there's a well woman that we're looking at.
Yeah. Well, let me tell y'all about a Queen Afua journey. Yes, boot camp is real. And, learning to eat better, that, learning to not just feed your belly or an immediate hunger need, but really feed your spirit, and getting aligned with your body and your soul and your spirit. I keep saying to my friends, I've never felt so in my body before. I feel very present here. And it does offer real clarity. I have ate some fish, Queen. I have ate some fish. But
you're doing much better when you compare how you might have been before.
Yeah. But I started on a juice cleanse again yesterday, just to reset, because I was like stress eating with that election. But I feel very good. And I've learned so much about, what we have to offer the world as Black women. Yes. Really embracing the power of my womanhood and not feeling like I have to man up to be seen and heard. So that affirmation this morning is also for me too, that I can be just as powerful, if not more so, really living in my womanhood. And it just feels amazing. And I thank you.
Thank you. Well, we thank you. And so what's next for you? What's the next step? Now that the smoke is clearing, and now there's another level that's coming in. So what's next for you? Because what's next for you is next for us.
So it's getting prepared for this next administration, making sure that we're fully represented in government at every level, ensuring that we understand that with the power of our voices and our worthiness, we have a right to demand the things that we know will make our communities whole and better and strong. And I'm sinking into what all those recommendations are and looking forward to engaging in conversations about just that. And trying to make sure that now, since the only Black woman we had in the Senate is going to the White House, that we have another Black woman that fills that seat. So we have to make sure the governor in California understands that that is our requirement. Yes, so those are some
our
of the
president
things.
must be in the White House. So it is already there. She's the mother. She's going to be fair and just and righteous. And we know that. So we're just hold the vision tight with no fear attached to it. We see the vision. We know what we need. And now that she's in her position, she's on her seat of power. That's what it is. She's on the throne. She's on her seat of power. And because of that, everything else will be. I saw people from all spiritual tribes cry when they came through. And they were crying because the picture kept coming right to her as she was giving her welcome speech. And I saw all the hearts of the women. It didn't even matter from their background. So there was a unification that happened because the mother's finally on her seat. The African American woman that has gone through those 40 years of chattel slavery, she done got through all of that, and now she's at top. It's just something like a Nelson Mandela move. 500 years, 25 years in prison, and now he's running through the country. So we're at a time of miracles, and it's like this is the time when people have their greatest, deepest stress, and this is also the time with the deepest revelation and the potential for the greatest healing. So let's hold on to that vision. We love you, mighty woman. We love you, wise woman. Thank you for representing the best of who we are. We're so proud. Thank you. We love you. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I've been waiting for you all my life.
Oh my goodness. Stop. Look what I sleep with next to my bed.
Get me that worked up. We are kindred spirits.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Are we both overwhelmed right now? Just most high. Okay.
This is definitely an honor. It's an honor for me, Queen Afua, by all measures. Thank you so very much.
Wow. You know what? I've been waiting for you. I didn't trust everything. I always have to check and double check, and I'm not quite sure. And let me think about it. Because once I do it, and I believe it, I let everybody else know. Go ahead, go that way. That's the way to go. Actually, you are the way to go. And that's why I said I've been waiting for you all my life, waiting for you to be the one. Because of you, I know I'm going to be speaking to my family 2021. All right? And many others. Once I do the blowhorn, everyone come this way. The doctor has said it. She did it for me. She did it for others. And I'm just excited. I'm just so excited about this because I have been thinking about this for years. And I've seen every commercial that exists about it because I'm almost there, but not quite. But now that you're here, I said, you're the one I can totally trust, that you will connect me to my family. We got to get to our roots.
Yeah.
So I just thank your presence for being here. And you just knocked me all the way over when you picked up the book.
Ooh, I went to get my green juice, and then I was like, I don't want to miss anything. So I have water. I don't have green juice. I have water.
Well, water is essential. We're made of 75% water, so we got that water in us and around us. We can flow. Please tell us how you even got into this work.
My goodness.
What happened to you? And where's your family from? Oh, we got so many questions.
So I got to this work from the ancestors, really. The ancestors and the community. I was introduced to my business partner, who is an African American geneticist, Dr. Rick Kittles. And he had the ability to tell all of us where exactly in Africa we are from. But he's not a business person. He's a researcher. And so we were connected by a colleague who, in psychology, actually. She put us together, and our visions aligned, our perspective on being Black and what's important for Black people were aligned. And so we partnered, and I commercialized his research so that everybody could then find out where in Africa we come from.
Wow. Well, I know it's very personal. Where do you come from in Africa?
Oh, of course. So maternally, through my mother's 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 line, I share ancestry with the Fulani people living in Nigeria today. And then I know several lineages because different family members have taken tests, and we can talk about that. But my father's line, I share ancestry with the Hausa people living in Nigeria.
Oh, no, Nigeria, and when you turn, it's Nigeria for you. Have you had an opportunity, or are you on your way at some point to connect? Did you send letters? What was your process?
Oh my goodness. So listen, that is one country that I want to visit that I have not had the opportunity to visit yet. But I certainly have engaged with Nigerians living here. So you don't have to travel, right?
Well, that's true, because Africa comes all the way over here. That's
exactly.
True.
So I have friends and colleagues who are Nigerians who I go to when I have questions. I've been named by a Nigerian sister down in Atlanta. So I've had some experiences, but I've traveled to other countries, obviously, within the African ancestry experience. Nigeria is a place where I want to go with a Nigerian. I don't just want to go, just to go.
No, you have to go. You have to have someone to walk you through. You just can't show up and say, "You're my family." No, you have to have support. And that is a fact. Well, doing something like that, how are people responding? That, your clients, those who are following you, how are they responding when they make that connection? What makes them come to you? What are they saying when they come to you?
People come to African Ancestry through all different avenues.
Right.
There are people who have been doing genealogy. They've been doing the records research and looking at the census and all of that. And then they hit a brick wall because we weren't even considered humans on a census until 1870. So for all of us who don't want to participate in the census, that is a gift for us to learn about the people who came before us. And so I encourage people to participate anyway. So you might be doing genealogy research and then you get to Alabama and it stops, or you get to North Carolina or New York and then you can't go any further. We bridge the gap for them for where their people were before Haiti, before Jamaica or Louisiana or wherever. Then some people have traveled extensively and have had the experience that many of us share, which is someone say, "Oh, you look like my cousin, you look like my aunt," and so they want to know, okay, well, Africa's got over 50 countries with hundreds of groups and thousands of languages, and so which one do I belong to specifically? And then there are people who just are curious, people whose kids have these ancestry days at school. And then they have to, all their colleagues can pick countries, Queen. They can say, my family's from Italy, my family's from Russia or El Salvador or wherever. And our kids are like, I'm from Georgia. So, it fills the gap for so many people. And then once they get the results, it's just the number. Yeah, I mean, it's a transformative experience because the reality is, as you know, we're the original victims of identity theft.
Identity theft.
What makes up who you are? Your name, your language, the way you honor and venerate your ancestors, your family. But as Black folks who were brought here unwillingly, we were disconnected from all of those things. And so this fills a gap that gives you another piece of understanding. And then what's so great about it is once you learn where you're from, you feel a sense of pride and place
Yeah,
and belonging
absolutely.
and curiosity. You teach us about the principles of Ma'at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so many people don't even know about Kemet, ancient
Mm-hmm.
Kemet.
It's true.
They
Mm-hmm.
haven't learned about the empires, the
Mm-hmm.
Mali Empire,
Yeah.
all of the Songhai
And it
Empire.
affects your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, or
Exactly.
what your worth is. So
Exactly.
it's so profound. My daughter did research with my aunt, and she found that we are from Nigeria. That a Nigerian thought he was going one place, and he ended up on the ship and was taken away
Wow.
like that. But just to know that Nigeria, I'm going 2021. I'm going to go, but I have to go with you and through ancestral work that you're going to get to us. So, what would you say to us to get us on board so we can make that healing? It's a healing to connect with your family. That's what we're saying. We want to connect with our beginning. Otherwise, we're just like floating in the air. Where? And so, what would you say to us to get us on board to take the study, to take that sojourn, to find out that link, that missing link? What would you say to us, those who are seeking or thinking about it, on the edge of it? Maybe, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a breakthrough.
Here's what I would say. I would say
Mm-hmm.
that you deserve to know
Yes.
where you're from. Knowing where you're from is just like Angela said it earlier. She said you can't build something on a janky foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are you going to build who you are and feel strongly without having all of the pieces of the
Yes,
puzzle,
yes,
of your
yes.
personal identity puzzle? And
Mm-hmm.
it only takes what we do. This is the other thing I wanted to share. You always talk about the power of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
One of the tests we offer uses DNA that we only get from our mother. So there's DNA, as you know, called
Yes.
mitochondrial DNA that we all inherit from our mother, and it doesn't change. And she got it from her mother, and it didn't change. This DNA does not change. We have the exact same DNA as that woman who was stolen, who made it through the most horrific
Wow.
Holocaust imposed on people in history. She
Mm-hmm.
made it through the belly of a slave ship with no humanity, no dignity, no privacy, no nutrition, no family. We have that same DNA of that woman who made it on the auction block every time she was sold away from her family. We have
Mm-hmm.
that same DNA from that woman who made it through Jim Crow and
Yes.
segregation, and who made it to the White House.
Mm-hmm.
We have that
Yes.
DNA in us because
Yes, we
of a
do.
woman. And you deserve to know what were her traditions, what were her beliefs, what were her cultural practices, what were her values. I can't tell you her name. That's gone to us forever. But what I can tell you is the group of people that she's a part of, which means
Yes.
you're a part of, and your children
Absolutely.
are a part of, and your grandchildren will be a part of. And that is what gives us the strength to fight like Angela does, to lead like you do, because we have that connection to our root.
Wow, that's power. This is truth. This is a powerful day that we are bringing to our people. I know everyone is inspired and encouraged to activate right now, because what you're talking about is medicine.
Yeah.
This is another level of medicine that will heal us up, that will get rid of the gap that we're having within our own being, that we do have roots. And with a tree without roots, it will perish. So, what did you do? Because you're alive, you are vibrant, you are radiant. In the time of the covert virus all over the place, what are you doing that's keeping you so
Whew.
vibrant?
I don't know. Looks can be deceiving, Queen. Let me see. What do I do? So, of course, I try to consume as much water as possible. It can be tough when you're stuck, on calls and in meetings and
Yes.
all of that. So I try to focus on water. You spoke of music. Music is my medicine. Music makes me happy. So I try to make sure that I always have music around me. And I stay connected to my friends and family. I think that's another important thing. Even though we may be distant, even though we may not be able to see everyone physically, I make it a point to keep those connections, because those are the connections, aside from the things, like meditating and but I want people to think about that too, because sometimes it's easy to meditate because it's just you. It's harder to stay connected to another person. That sometimes takes more work.
And also, I want to add to that, thank you, is that you're on purpose. When you're on purpose, you are fired up. And when you're fired up and charged up, your immune system is stronger. You're on purpose. So every time you help to connect someone to their ancestors, it charges you. I can feel it. I'm already charged by being in your presence.
Oh, thank you.
How do we follow up? What do we need to do to follow you, to walk with you, to get on board, to get our ancestry connection? What's this next step for us?
Well, we, in terms of connecting with us, you can do that for free. That doesn't cost anything. So you can follow us on at African Ancestry here on Instagram. We're at African Ancestry everywhere, basically. But then if you are ready to start exploring your ancestry, if you visit AfricanAncestry.com, you can learn about our tests, and you can see testimonials of people who have taken the test. I suggest that people start with the maternal lineage. So, Queen, one of the things I want to make sure that you and all of your community are clear about is that we're the pioneers of doing this work. Before there were any of the companies you see on television, it's been 17 plus years that we've been doing this. And what we do is very different. The other companies have bastardized what's important to us as African people. They tell you that you're from all these different regions, and they give you all these percentages. We don't do that. We operate in the direct lineages and tell you the people. Like for Oprah, you mentioned, we told her that she shares maternal ancestry with the Pele people living in Liberia today. Like Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in power. We told him that he shares maternal genetic ancestry with the Limba people living in Sierra Leone. So it's a very different identity answer when you know the tribe and the country, not some random region. So I would start with the maternal test, the matriclan test, and when you do that, then you have gotten the answer for everybody in the family on that branch of the tree. Anyone who comes, it takes about 10 weeks. It takes about 10 weeks for us to get the results. I would love to be able to reveal your results and see what we find. That would be so fun.
Excited. Wow, my whole family's gonna be another level. That's how I find out.
Right, when you do it. Exactly. And I'm sure, I can almost guarantee that you'll find things in your ancestry that are have directly informed the work that you do without even necessarily knowing it.
I would agree with you. I'm going to find someone who looks like me, who acts like me, in the herbs, into natural plant medicine. I know she's there waiting for me to come home. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are so charged up. They are coming. Second, we will be calling you up. The immigrant practitioner will be calling you up. The womb yoga practitioner will all be calling you up to get this definite medicine. Thank you so much for holding on for those 17 years. Because we know what it is to be an entrepreneur and to hold on to a vision. Thank you so much for your mighty war. That you did not give up. You did not give in. That you kept going to heal us. We thank you and we honor you. Blessings.
Thank you very much.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you to all my subscribers. We are giving away a free 7-day detox kit. when we reach our milestone goal of 50,000 subscribers to this channel. To enter for your chance to win, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, like and comment on this video, and we will choose the winner from the comments section. Thank you for growing with us. Ashe.